I've told the story before, but I'll tell it again because the lesson that it left me with is just so meaningful and impactful for what I do on a daily basis. I had just gotten this YouTube channel going and the ball was rolling, and I started uploading a couple videos, and I was really passionate about it. And I told one of my best friends, I said, hey, I got this new YouTube channel. I said, this is the one. This is it. I'm feeling really passionate about the tech, entrepreneurship. I actually have experience that I can speak to now and answer questions on, and all this. I'm really excited about it, and I'm ready to go all in. And he said to me, Josh, that's awesome. He said, that's fantastic. But as your friend, can I give you a word of advice? And I said, yeah, of course, yeah, like, why do you even need to ask that? Just tell me the advice. Can you promise me one thing? If you stop working on this YouTube channel, whether it be that you get tired of it, or you don't see the growth, or you want to swap to something else because that seems better, promise me one thing. If you quit this, never start a YouTube channel again. Otherwise, you need to quit right now. And there was kind of that pregnant pause there. That was, he's like, don't get me wrong. I'm supporting you all the way through this. I'm super excited for you. But if you are going to get tired of this, I've seen you go through this a million times before. You get really excited about it, and then you go do it, and you don't see results, and then you quit. He said, if you're going to do that with this one, don't start at all. Like, just stop wasting your time. Just stop uploading. Just delete the channel. Otherwise, just go. Just go. Just never stop uploading. And it was kind of a sobering thought to hear because, so many times in the past, I tried to do something similar to this, whether it be a gaming channel or an animation channel or something that I was passionate about at the time, but I never really followed through on it. And so I kind of cycled around all the options that I had until I eventually got to this. So my response to him was the following. This is the one. I'm never going to stop uploading. I'm going to keep consistent at it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my energy into this. And if I don't see results in 3 months, that's okay. If I don't see results in 6 months, that's okay. If I don't see results within a year, that's okay. Because this one I'm making for me. I'm not making it so that I could make $1 kajillion off of YouTube because I really want to make money. I'm not making it because I just like doing videos and I want to record my life and do vlogs and I'm just doing this because it's a healthy outlet for me to actively share my thoughts, tips, tricks, talking about what my thoughts are in different software, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm telling him all this, and he's listening, and he says, okay. He says, okay. He said, but now you know the stakes. He said, I believe you. He says, I support you 100%, but now you know the stakes. If you ever quit this, you're done. And I promised him. I said, if I ever quit this thing, I'm never starting another one again. And as a result of that, I've been able to upload more consistently than I've ever done before. In March, I hit 30 subscribers, which is crazy. 30 subscribers, wow. In August, I hit 300 subscribers. In December, I hit 1,500 subscribers. It brings up a really great point about New Year's resolutions, and is that, why do we set them in the first place if we're not gonna follow through on them? Well, regardless of whether you think it is or isn't offensive, because one, you should be supporting their goals, no matter how much, statistically people aren't gonna follow through on their goals and New Year's resolutions, you should still be supporting them because you're their friend, or should you be brutally honest with them and say, unless you're actually gonna follow through with this, why are you setting this goal for yourself at all? Now, this idea of New Year's resolutions is what caused me to start something completely new, break tradition 5 years ago. I replaced my New Year's resolutions with something I like to call doing a New Year's Snapshot. And in the 5 years since I've started this little micro experiment, I've been able to see the direct benefits of it versus people setting traditional New Year's resolutions. So let's give the most classic example of all time. If you wanted to get in shape that year, well, first of all, what does actually getting in shape mean? Does it mean cooking healthier? Does it mean working out more? What are the actual tangible things that you're going to do to accomplish this big goal of getting fit, getting in shape, whatever that actually means to you? Well, with a traditional New Year's resolution, many people would set themselves up to develop the habits that would allow them to achieve that goal. So if they said, I wanted to be more fit, maybe they'd buy themselves a pair of running shoes, maybe they'd download Nike Run Club, maybe get themselves one of their little, the phone things that goes in your arm so they could listen to music while they're running, set up the things that would allow them to achieve that goal. But the thing that stands between them, setting up those things and actually achieving that goal is, well, the habit. the habit. It all comes down to habit. And this is the realization I came to 5 years ago when I realized, hey, without actually following through and creating the habits that allow me to follow through, what's the point in setting them? And this brings up two very good, very well-structured arguments from two large groups of people on why you should or should not set New Year's resolutions for yourself. Of course, we have side A, the side that goes and sets lofty New Year's resolutions. They want to achieve those goals and they set them for themselves. And it doesn't matter it's just January 1st. I know it's an arbitrary day, but I want to go and set these goals for myself because it's going to build me up. It's going to build my self-esteem. It's going to give me the goals that I need to actually follow through, except they don't end up following through. And we have statistical evidence to support that. And that's where side B comes in. The people that say, well, if you want to actually develop successful habits for yourself and build the things that you want to build, whether it be fitness, relationships, your career, etc., well, you shouldn't have to wait until January 1st to actually start implementing those goals and habits. There shouldn't be a possibility of you doing it if you only are setting it on January 1st. There should be a possibility of you doing it all year long. You don't need January 1st to set that arbitrary goal for yourself just so that you get started. And while both these sides have really good points and come from two different angles, I kind of find myself placed somewhere in the middle. And it was because of being stuck between these two very good arguments that I decided to create 5 years ago today, on December 31st, 2019, what I like to call a New Year's Snapshot. A slightly different approach and really my take on what an actual New Year's resolution should be. It shouldn't be some lofty goal that you can potentially achieve and then if you don't see the results, a month, 2, 3 months in, that you give up on. But it also shouldn't be something that you can just disregard January 1st for goal setting at all. The idea with a New Year's Snapshot is not to be the place where you're setting goals for yourself, but rather on January 1st to capture all the goals that you are actively working towards for future review. And what that means is, instead of saying, okay, it's January 1st, I'm gonna start working out, I'm gonna start going to the gym, it's that whatever your fitness goals have been in the past year, on January 1st, you get a snapshot. You get a snapshot of what exactly you've been working towards. How many days a week have you been working out? What sort of healthy food habits have you been making? All the things that you've done to work towards that goal that you're going into the new year with, well, what have you done so far? Because if you've done nothing so far, and you're going into the new year with this very big goal, is it likely that you're gonna follow through on it? No. So it combines that idea of having January 1st be some sort of symbolic day with the idea that you shouldn't wait until January 1st to set those habits for yourself. But like I said, I've been doing this for 5 years, so I have 5 years worth of snapshots to go look back on. And today, I'm gonna be sharing some of them with you. But before we get into that, to illustrate what the best difference is between a typical New Year's resolution and a typical New Year's snapshot, let me ask you this. What was your New Year's resolution 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? On December 31st, what was the goal that you set for yourself, and how has that impacted your life up until now? Now, for those of you who didn't set resolutions, of course, you wouldn't have anything to say here, but I also suspect that for many people who did set resolutions during that time, they also would not know what to say here, because they don't remember them. And that's kind of the problem I had with New Year's resolutions, is that they're temporary, they are finite. You're not gonna remember what your New Year's resolution was 10 years in the future. And that was the biggest problem for me. So I wanted to take a snapshot of whatever the goals I was setting in my life, whatever direction I was headed, just so that 5 years or 10 years or 20 years down the line, I could look back and go, wow, those problems, I remember those problems were so big to me at the time. Those problems were monumental. The anxiety, and now they're completely inconsequential to my life. And at the top of my list on January 1st, 2020, which I wrote at 4 in the morning, it's always a tradition for me to do it after 12 a.m. for obvious reasons. And the latest I've ever done one was 2 hours before January 2nd that was 2021, I think. BCIT, term 2, only 8 courses. Now, BCIT is where I learned most of my software engineering skills in a classroom setting. And yeah, term 2, this was halfway. And that was the biggest thing for me, was those 8 courses. Following up, I wanted to create some sort of side hustle for myself, generating $1,000 per month. That was a big goal. The third one was I had some video gigs. I was just barely starting my videography company, and I really wanted to increase the amount of clients I had for that. 4, should I quit my restaurant job and replace it with a graphic design or web development position, just so that I could start to put more things on my portfolio and my resume that actually related to the field that I was going to study in? Or should I keep working at the restaurant? And then a tradition I also have on this is I'll actually write the age that I am turning. Oh yeah, 2020 was the year I was turning 19 years old. So that was a big deal for me because I was finally able to drink. But the idea with them was not that these are the goals that I'm writing down on a piece of paper so that I actually go and achieve them. It's that whether I write these goals down or not, I'm going to achieve them this year. Whether I actually achieve them this year is questionable, but at least in that moment, that is the mental snapshot of myself and the goals that I'm going to pursue forward. And going into 2021, 2022, 2023, and now 2024, in the 5 years that it's been since I actually started this, it's actually really helped me and allowed me to look back and really reflect along the entire way on what I've been doing and the goals that I've been setting. It's incredibly interesting to me to look back and think, wow, number one at the time was doing my second semester of university, and now it's been 3 years since I've been finished university. Like, how crazy is that? For me now, I own a car, I have my full license, and I've had it for quite a while. But at the time, 5 years ago, getting the ability to actually just drive by myself, that was a big goal for me. You know, doing things like scaling up my videography company to $1,000 a month. I was like, oh, $1,000 a month, that's crazy, that's unachievable. But looking back at, 2021 and 2022, I'm like, okay, let's take it to $10,000 a month. And even through 2022, 2023, and now the one I wrote last night, 2024, all of these things that I've been writing are not for me to actually go and achieve and start on January 1st. This is day one on January 1st. Rather, they're all goals that I've been working towards for multiple years. I mean, it's been just over a year since I started my YouTube channel fully and really gone all in on it. And now I'm at a little over 1,500 subscribers and monetized. That's a crazy feat for me. And I'm sure that if I look back at 2024's goal list, what I want to achieve this year, which number one is getting 100,000 subscribers, I think that would be really cool this year. I'm going to look back at this 2024 and think to myself, wow, I remember when thinking 100,000 subscribers was a lot. Ultimately, my life remains unchanged. I write down what exactly I'm going to do this year, close up the book, put it on the shelf, pull it out next year. It has no impact on my life because the goals that I'm going to be setting, I'm setting for myself anyway. So for this moment, I thought I'd talk to you about some of the things that I had hoped to achieve from last year. Because, now we're heading into 2024, 2023 is over and done with. Did I accomplish everything that I thought I would actually accomplish? Well, to be honest, I haven't even reviewed it. I don't know what I wrote down. Before I tell you what these goals are, let me tell you exactly where I was at the current time. Now, come January 1st, 2023, I was temporarily laid off from my job working as a junior front-end engineer, and I was facing a bit of uncertainty. Did I want to go get a new career? Did I want to start something else? And that was the point when I started, you might have seen the video on the channel, starting a software company in 100 days. And I was going all in on that. It was, grow my social media following this year. That's what I wrote as number one, grow my social media following this year. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and that was for this YouTube channel here. And number two, the brand bridge startup, which was the biggest thing going for me at the time because I was building that up and just really doubling down on the back-end skills that I had developed during the winter. Again, all of these things, like starting the brand bridge startup, were not started on January 1st. Rather, they were started in November through December, and January 1st just happened to be that arbitrary date that a snapshot of my mind was taken with all my goals and put onto paper, and then closed back up and put away on the shelf for another year. Now, despite the fact that at the time my income had been put on a temporary pause, I still wrote in here that I wanted to go on a trip. And I ended up going on a trip. This year I went on several trips. I went to San Francisco for a week by myself, which was something incredibly scary. And this was the first time I'd ever done something like this, not traveling with friends, just literally me and a backpack and my phone and my tripod and just going. And I really didn't know what to expect, but it was a learning experience. I got to see gorgeous San Francisco. I got to see Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz, Fisherman's Wharf, all those typical things. But ultimately, despite the uncertainty of what I was writing down on this sheet, most of it was grow social media following on YouTube, keep going forward on the startup, and then do more trips. Those were the main three things that I wanted to do. And all three of those I've absolutely smashed out of the park in the past year. We've gone from literally 30 subscribers in March to now just over 1,500 subscribers come January 2024. And the channel's making money, the channel's monetized, and I've been able to go on trips to San Francisco by myself for a week, like I mentioned, but also go for a 2-week trip to Italy, which I've never been before. That was my first time in Europe. That's crazy. What an experience. But above all of that, the thing that trumps everything else is the fact that I had the opportunity to return to the startup that I was working in previously, not as a junior front-end engineer, but somebody actually running all of the tech. Now, I'm sure that sounds like a major jump to you, and in many of the videos that I've posted, specifically the one where I talk about how I'm going back to my previous startup, a lot of people have asked, really? That seems like a bit of a jump. And yes, I agree, it was a huge jump. And I was kind of drowning for the first couple months, just trying to figure out how all the systems were run and maintaining it and educating myself. But it was a position that I was given the opportunity to grow into. I wasn't hired at some crazy 6-figure amount, with the idea of me being a fully seasoned vet. It was the idea of giving me those responsibilities and seeing how I did. Do I sink? Do I swim? How do I go? And I swam. I'd say I swam quite well. The fact is, in the past year, not even a year, I took over February of 2023 and end of February, March 2023. Since I came back into that position in March 2023, we've built so many tools, so many systems, so many cool little neat projects that when they come together, form a cohesive platform that ultimately delivers more value to our customers than did ever prior. And I think that's because of the fact that I was given the opportunity and the space to grow and learn and expand as I was doing these things. And now, come 2024, I can confidently say that the place that we are in now is so much better than where I thought we would be. Because, last year when we were doing this, it was all uncertain. I didn't know what was going to happen. And now we look at this place that we're at and it's just amazing. So here's how to set up your very own New Year snapshot. And for you, it doesn't actually necessarily have to be a New Year's snapshot, rather. It could be any day of the year. If you want June 1st to be your snapshot day, or August 1st, or even your birthday to be your snapshot day, just pick a date of significance to you that you can consistently, year after year, come back to for a small period of time to just review what you've done and where you want to go. You're not setting a New Year's resolution or a resolution at all, because you're already actually accomplishing the goals that you're going towards. You've already built the habits or are actively building towards creating those habits that are going to provide you the capacity to accomplish whatever it is your specific goals are and what you want to accomplish within them. And all of this to say that after my first year on YouTube, I can confidently say that this is a core part of who I want to be for the rest of my life. With all the things I'm doing, regardless of all the startup successes that we're doing and all the stuff that's going great there, which is probably my, it definitely is. That's my main thing. YouTube and sharing what I like to share, whether it be talking about new tech, my thoughts on it, whether it's going to succeed or fail, testing out new tech, or even just recording myself building something because I think it might be a cool idea. That's what this is about. That's what this channel is for. And I'm still figuring things out. I'm still trying to determine who exactly I'm building this for, but I know one thing for certain. This is a core part of who I am, and I'm looking forward to going into 2024 so much, because I don't need an arbitrary day to tell me when to set my goals. But it feels damn good to have a specific point in time that I can actually look at where I'm going. Bye for now.